Hi! Finally, here it is. The video I've been mentioning a few times already, and although my channel is not that old yet, you probably have been waiting for it. The why and how things went so bad. There are many things that happened. There are many instances involved. There are many institutions at this moment investigating, including the Department of Justice of the United States, including the FBI, agencies from around the globe, safety agencies, and many more. The reasons are not just technical, they're also financial, political, and even the general public played a role in this. So fasten your seatbelts and let's have a ride through some history, facts, opinions, and whatever will pop up. The 737 MAX is an upgrade of an upgrade of an upgrade of an even older design. It all starts in the 50s, the early 50s, when the Boeing 707 was designed. From there, the Boeing 727 was designed, and from there the Boeing 737 was designed. The Boeing 707 was designed by these people, and the Boeing 737 was designed by these people. The first Boeing to be delivered was the Boeing 737-100 back in 1968. At that moment, the 737-200 was already in development, and shortly after that they decided to actually create the 737-200 Advanced, which became the workhorse and the most popular one from the 200 series. It had a longer range, more fuel capacity, stronger engines. They were still those cigar-shaped engines exactly in the middle of the wing. Very iconic and very typical to the 737-200. Those engines were actually how you would recognize a 737-100 or 200, with a very interesting design also of the thrust reverse, which is like on the DC-9, the Fokker 28, 70 and 100. What most people don't know is that in 1977, what is today called Airbus started to investigate and took the first step to develop what's today known as the Airbus A320. So in 1979, Boeing reacted, and they reacted by creating the 737 Classic, first one with the engines installed forward of the wing, like most aircraft today. This was the first time that Boeing started reacting to Airbus. Although the cooperation of all these companies in Europe was not strong, it was still very fragmented, Boeing knew they had to act, and to act fast. And they took some very good decisions. They designed one of the best aircraft ever designed until then, the 737-300, 400 and the smaller 500, which are still flying today, and many of them being converted also to freighters. The first 737 Classic started flying in November 1984. There was the 737-300, later the 400 followed, and at last 500. A total of 1988 were built, which was a record number back in those days, and still is a very, very beautiful number for an aircraft. During the early 90s, United Airlines switched from the 737 Classic to the much more technologically advanced Airbus A320. And this was a shock to Boeing, as an American Airlines would switch to the European manufacturer, and so they had to react again. This led to eventually introducing the 737 next generation in 1997. And that was painful, because Airbus really started to take close to 50% of market share from the new orders and deliveries. And because Boeing reacted relatively slow, they started to lose their impressive market share, their dominance in the market. So in 2006, Boeing was already considering to build a real replacement for the 737, a clean sheet brand new aircraft, just like the Dreamliner. But they were not sure, they were hesitant, and so they waited. And they waited until Airbus launched the A320 Neo new engine option in 2010, and collecting orders for over 1,000 aircraft at the air show of 2011. At that moment also, American Airlines announced an order from Airbus for 460 narrow bodies, including 130 A320s Neo, and intended to order 100 737s re-engined aircraft. And that pushed Boeing over the edge. They hadn't started the new clean sheet design. Airbus was upgrading, and American Airlines wanted to buy a re-engined version of the 737 next generation. Boeing could not really wait. Starting to develop a brand new aircraft takes 5 to 10 years. If you're lucky, you'll get it flying in 7, if you're really lucky. And so they had to act fast, especially since American Airlines was pushing them. And so they reacted fast, but they were behind again. And that is when the problems really started.